I am Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Tonight we are going to go over the top 3 exercises for plantar fasciitis. So it's running season, weather's starting to cool down. It is the end of flip-flop season, so it is coming to the end of summer. A lot of people walk bare feet. This is really the time where we see a lot of plantar fasciitis start to kind of show up. So this was one of the things that we talked about at our meeting today. Was this is one of the things that we're starting to see more and more come into our office, and it's always this time of year. Not that it doesn't happen at other times, but flip-flop season tends to stretch out the plantar fasciitis. Walking on the beach tends to stretch out the plantar fascia, as well as getting ready for marathon season, half marathon season, and so on and so forth. So we are going to go through the top 3 exercises for plantar fasciitis. Before we go to the exercises, I want you to know that you cannot fix plantar fasciitis if you don't wear proper footwear. So if you're walking around still in bare feet and you're doing all the exercises and you're frustrated, or you're walking around in flats even, or heels at work, it really makes a big difference. When you are suffering symptoms of plantar fasciitis, you need to make sure you change up your footwear so that you are wearing sneakers all the time. Whether you're at home, at work, wherever, you need a supportive shoe on. And I'm not talking about a supportive dress shoe. There are dress shoes that are better than others, but if you are truly suffering from plantar fasciitis, it's really important that you get a sneaker on your foot and you keep it on as long as you possibly can. And that way you're able to give your foot shock absorption and you're able to give your foot some support. So it really, footwear does make a difference, especially when you're talking about healing plantar fasciitis, but you want to make sure that it does, you are aware that you are wearing proper footwear and not just walking around barefoot. Another thing you can do before we get to the 3 exercises, I know, is ice it. At night, if you freeze a water bottle or fill up just any sort of plastic bottle and you throw it in the freezer, and then at night you just sit there and you run it underneath your foot, it's the best way to ice the plantar fascia. It's what you want to do. You don't have to wait till the evening either. If you're feeling really sore and you have the ability to do it throughout the day, that's only going to help calm that inflammation down. So a lot of people with plantar fasciitis report that the first step in the morning is really painful. Having that ice at night and having that ice on your foot is going to help reduce some of that first step pain. One of the symptoms of plantar fasciitis, like I just said, is first step pain. So if you're wondering if you have it, that's a big symptom of it. Also, plantar fasciitis generally is only on the bottom of your foot. So if you have pain in your ankle, maybe pain going up the back of your leg, while some of it could be plantar fasciitis, if you also have pain on the bottom of your foot, most of that is not plantar fasciitis if it's located into your calf area, up into the front of your leg. Doesn't mean there's not a lot of things that don't go hand in hand, shin splints, things like that. But just be aware that when we're talking about plantar fasciitis, we're talking about the bottom of your foot, inflammation on the bottom of your foot. So let's get into the 3 exercises that you can do. The first one is going to be to get a spike ball, okay, and to run it around the bottom of your foot. Now, a lot of people ask, is a tennis ball that do the same thing? The answer is no, okay? A golf ball, because it has little dimples in it, will work, not as good as a spike ball. A tennis ball is just going to really flatten out that plantar fascia. So you want to make sure that you have something that either has divots in it or spikes in it, so you're able to feel it go into your foot. You're going to go all the way up into your toes, okay, and all the way back into your heel. Depending on how sore you are, depends on how much pressure you put on that plantar fascia, okay? So don't feel like you have to put all your weight on it. It can be really tender, so you can just stand here and just gently run it back and forth until you're able to really put a lot of pressure on it. You want to do this about 5 minutes a day, all right? And again, if you're standing at your workstation at work, just do this. Break it up nice and easy, and you can do this as often as you want. If you have an extreme case of inflamed plantar fasciitis, you can do this only about 5 minutes, okay? Once you're a little bit more into it, then you can do it for a little bit longer. All right, so the next stretch you're going to do with plantar fasciitis is you're going to find a stable table, wall, whatever. You're going to put your toes up against it, and then you're going to slide down, all right? So it's just the top of your foot, you're going to slide down. So your foot is flat on the floor, but your toes are flat up against the wall. Now, I don't have plantar fasciitis, so this is pretty easy for me to do. A lot of people with plantar fasciitis are going to get to about to here. They're going to start to slide their foot down, and it's going to be extremely painful. So if you can't get all the way where your foot's flat on the floor, but your toes are up in the air, don't worry about it. Just go as far as you can. It's a stretch, so you want it to be uncomfortable, not painful. You want to feel a nice gentle stretch. You want to hold that 30 seconds, and you want to do about 6 of those. All right, nice and easy, okay? But you want to go all the way to the floor if you can. If not, don't worry about it. And then the final stretch that you're going to do is you're going to find a step, all right? And you're going to put your feet up on the step. Now, for this one, it's really important that you block your toes. So you're going to put the bottom of the step right, so here's the arch of your foot, right at the top of your arch. So you don't want your toes on the steps. You want the ball of your foot on the step too. And then all you're going to do is just nice and easy drop your heel down. Now, if you have a very inflamed case of plantar fasciitis, you may need to be more on the ball of your foot because this may be extremely painful. But you want to stretch that out nice and easy, just like this. Okay? You may feel a stretch in your calf, which is in the back of your leg, before you ever feel anything in your plantar fascia, and that's okay. That means that needs to be stretched more than your plantar fascia does. So hold that 30 seconds and do 6 of those. Make sure you do them both sides. All these things you want to make sure you're evening out because it's not uncommon to have plantar fasciitis on both sides. So you want to take the time to make sure that even if you don't have symptoms on the one side, that you're taking the steps to do so and loosen up the other side.